Would the OP be the a-hole if she tells her husband he can't quit his job? Let's find out more about it. It's from the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? And it's titled, Would I be the a-hole if I tell my husband he can't leave the job he hates? My husband is a tradesman. He always wanted his own business as he hates having a boss. He started doing freelance work over the years and felt like he can go out on his own someday. I'm a teacher, and at the end of 2021, my district asked me to head up an incentive that bumped my pay up, quarterly stipends, without a ton of extra work. Around the same time, his company of 8 years got bought over. We decided this would be a good time for him to go out on his own. My teaching job provides steady income. I hold our family's insurance. We have 3 kids, oldest is 9. And the stipends provide a little cushion. We also had about $40,000 in savings. Things started out great, but a year later, most of the work in the area dried up. He took contracts out of states to keep working, but didn't make as much because of lodging and food. He suggested we buy a camper he can live in while he was away. I agree. That came with a hefty monthly payment, but it helped with some of the costs. Then out-of-state work became fewer and far between. He was home more, making no money at all. My husband is a hustler and was constantly putting himself out there, but the cost of supplies went up, so he had to raise prices for his services. This made things worse. The cycle continued. As hard as it was to be home alone with 3 young kids when he traveled, it was worse when he was home. He was miserable. A potential contract would cheer him up and then fall through. We went through this for months. Midway through 2024, we were simply out of money. We were living off of credit cards. He took some seasonal work in the fall, and that's the only reason our home wasn't foreclosed on. He felt like a failure. Early December, an old friend called him to ask if he would consider working with him. There's a corporate project, and they desperately need people with my husband's skill set. $61 an hour, $1,500 sign-on bonus if he starts within 10 days. We thought it was too good to be true, but 2 days after Christmas, he had a contract in his email. He started right after the New Year's. His first check was manna from heaven. It's taken 2 months to breathe again, even with my pay. He got paid 4 times, and his most recent check was the first time we had money left over after we paid bills. We took the kids to McDonald's to celebrate. The problem is he's miserable. It took a week for him to remember why he hates working for other people. I watch his light dim more every day. He is working OT weekly, and I feel bad he has to spend so much time there. The other day, he fake casually mentioned that he heard from a company out of state. It's the opportunity I've been waiting for, he says. It just came a little late. I love this man, but I don't think I can support this again. We put $40K plus and $15K in credit card debt into it. He was gone for months at a time, and it was hard here. And we still have a huge monthly payment for that camper we can't sell. Would it be cruel to tell him he can't quit? Ooh, this is a tough situation where OP is in. She wants to support her husband in his dreams of being his own boss and having his own business. Unfortunately, they tried that once and it didn't work out very well for them. In fact, they're in debt because of that. And now the husband is working for someone that a friend had recommended, and it sounds like the pay is pretty decent and it's keeping things very stable. So I understand where the OP is coming from. She wants to be supportive of his dreams, but at the same time, she needs to be realistic and realize that what they really need is to get out of debt. Excuse me. She also realized that it's hard to see her husband just being so miserable every day. But hey, excuse me, what can you do? The reality of things is that financially, it doesn't make sense for her to have the husband do his own business again, because this is gonna put them into more debt. Excuse me. Anyways, so I think that the most reasonable thing is, yeah, she's not an a-hole for telling her husband that, no, I'm sorry, you can't quit. The husband, unfortunately, needs to suck it up for just a little bit longer until they can replenish their savings again. And maybe they can have a discussion to maybe have him try starting up his own business again. But for now, it's not the best idea for her to risk losing her home, risk, getting into more debt for her husband to continue to be passionate. I do feel bad for the husband. I understand going to a job that you're so unhappy to go to. I understand it does take a toll on you mentally. But at the same time, you also need to be realistic and realize that sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do. And sometimes it's sucking it up for a while until you can get to a place where you're able to move forward. Anyways, what advice do you have for this OP? What do you think? Do you think that it's wrong for OP to tell her husband that, no, you cannot quit? Or do you think that, she should be supportive and say, okay, let's go ahead and try this again? Let me know in the comment section. And remember, if you like these types of stories, to continue to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.